Just going to go over how to create the repeat pattern, and this is a fairly new feature of Photoshop. In the past we had to do all sorts of tricky things with offsetting and things like that, but in more recent versions of Photoshop it's a lot easier. So let's get cracking. I have some bits and pieces on my screen. I've cut out the backgrounds, and that's what I want. You might have other ideas, and you can see that I have the checkerboard background, so I know that I have a transparent background. If I wanted to have a colored background, I could fill that full of color. If I wanted that color, so if I wanted a colored background, I could have it that way, but I'm just going to go with the transparent background for this exercise. So once I've got this in place, and another important thing to note is that your image or your document image size needs to be square, an exact square. Mine is 21 by 21. Size is not important, but it is important that your shape is square. Fantastic. So once that's all done, what we can go up here is now go to the view filter. Now I'm going to go to the view menu, and I'm going to come to this new thing called pattern preview in the view menu, and this is fabulous. It makes making patterns so much easier. So we get this sort of set up like this, and this is the preview of the pattern, and that means that we can move this around, we can transform parts of our pattern, we can rotate them out a little bit, do some cool things, and we can see that we're building up this sort of pattern idea. So you can just sort of get a bit of a view of what your pattern's going to be. And this is sort of Photoshop's new way of making patterns, and it makes life a lot easier. So just a little bit of playing around. You might need to try this out a couple of times, and that means you can add additional things in here as you need, and you're just sort of getting your pattern like so. So this is Photoshop's new pattern creation sort of interface, and it's really makes making patterns so much more easy. So once you've got your pattern in place, you can then leave the this view. So we can go back out of view. View. We're going to leave pattern view, and OK. Now, once you have done that, we've sort of arranged this like we want it. We can go to edit and define what we have on screen as a pattern. So I'm going to say that's my pattern, and I'm OK. So we've created that pattern. If I were to make a new document now, cancel, or a new document of any size at all, I'll just make this a little bit bigger, turn, and I'm just going to fill that full of a color or what have you, and I can put a pattern overlay on this. So I'm going to make a pattern. In my pattern library, I should have this most recently created pattern. There it is right there. There's my pattern, and of course we can scale that up or down, and we should have a seamless pattern. So this is Photoshop's pattern creation interface now that's been improved in the last little while, and just making patterns easier. Okie dokie. All right, well, I hope that helps, and I'll see you all in the lesson.